Hi, I'm Rachel. I am the Happy Average Athlete, and I am here to give you a nice cozy little flow. This is especially good for if your hips and your hamstrings are tight. So I'm looking at my fellow runners out there, my fellow cyclists. This is your cozy evening flow just for you. So we're going to start in a comfortable seated position. You can be sat onto your heels or even be cross-legged, however feels good for you. So we're just going to take a few moments here just to arrive onto the mat, connect to our breathing, just settle down in for this nice easy flow. So take your hands onto your knees no matter how you're sat, and just breathe here. Close your eyes, take a nice big inhale, filling the belly. Exhale, bring the belly button towards the spine. Allow your lungs to empty. Nice big inhale again. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And while your eyes are still closed, we're just going to take a nice big inhale, bringing the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring them back down. Allow your fingertips to brush the mat. Nice big inhale, hands go back up towards the ceiling, over your head. Exhale, hands back down. And now we're gently going to bring ourselves into a tabletop position. So hands and knees onto the mat. And we're just going to take some wiggles here. So wiggle your hips side to side. Wiggle your shoulders. Anything that feels good. Just taking a moment to just really listen to what your body needs right now. And then we're going to take a couple of cat-cows. So inhaling, drop the belly, raise your chin up. Raise the gaze. Exhale, push into your hands, round your spine, bring your nose down. Inhale, dropping the belly again, raising the chin. Exhale, pushing into the hands, rounding the spine. One more time, just like that. Inhale, raising the gaze. Exhale, rounding the spine. And then we're going to gently tuck our toes, raise our knees up, bring ourselves into downward facing dog. Now if your hamstrings are really, really tight, bend your knees. We don't hear that enough in YouTube yoga. Bend your knees in your downward dog. You always hear bring your heels down. But for those of us with tight hamstrings, because we run a lot, it's just not going to happen. What we want is a nice straight line from your wrist to your shoulder to your hips. So bending the knees allows us to bring us there. If I put my hips down, I round my spine, and that's not a good downward dog. So bend your knees, walk your dog here, take a few steps, bringing your heels up. Feel the stretch in the hamstrings as you bring one heel down while you bend the other leg generously. And switch. Take a few breaths. And then we're going to come to neutral here. Going to raise the right foot up. Three-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to bring our foot in between our hands. Bring that left knee down onto the mat. And you can come up onto your fingertips here, just so you've got enough space to raise your chest. Open your shoulders out. Open your heart. Breathe here. And you can have a little bit of movement in this, so you can kind of bring your hips up and down. See what feels good here. So we're opening out the hips here. Breathing. And then we're going we're gonna bring our hips back and we're gonna try as much as we can to straighten that front leg. Now if your hamstrings are really tight, you might be here, and that's fine. You may have a really bent leg, and that's absolutely fine. You're still in the pose. What you want to do is try and keep that nice flat back, just like in downward dog. So if you need to bend your knees, bend your knees. And play around here. So some people like to keep their foot flat on the mat. Some people like to lift the toes up. And what I also like to do is to slightly wiggle the hips. So bring that right hip back. And it's almost like you're bringing the left forward. So wiggle them around and just see what feels good for you. And keep breathing as you're doing it. Inhaling and exhaling. Excellent. And then we're going to come forward again into that nice low lunge, opening the chest again. Inhaling here. And then if you'd like to go a little bit deeper, you can bring your chest up, bring your hands, interlace your hands and bring them onto that thigh. And you can push into the hips here. So again, you don't have to stay static. You can find a little bit of movement. It's whatever your body needs today. Keep connecting to that breath. And then when you're ready, bring your hands back down, and then again, we're gonna bring ourselves back. We're straightening out this leg as much as feels comfortable for us, whilst keeping that back as straight as possible. So as you can see, it's not totally straight for me, but that's okay, we're working on it. And again, bringing some movement, so bumping the hips a little bit. And you can also, what I like to do is bring my chin down whilst I'm also wiggling the hips. Because then you can really feel, for me, I can feel how it's all connected. I can feel it up in my neck, my back, my hips, hamstrings, everything. Keep breathing. And then when you're ready, bring yourselves forward into that low lunge. And then we're going to plant the hands. Now we're going to bring that foot back into a downward dog. Pedal it out. And we're going to take that same sequence on the other side. So left leg up, three-legged dog. And then bringing that left leg in between your hands. Bringing that right knee down. Open out through the chest onto the fingertips. And breathe. Find some movement if that's what feels good for you. Keep breathing, keep connecting to that wonderful breath. And if your fingers are starting to feel a little bit achy, you can always come onto the fists. It's always a nice option. Takes the weight out of the wrists a little bit. And then when you're ready, bringing those hips back, straightening that leg as much as you can. Keeping that back nice and straight. Breathing here, finding some wiggles. Bringing that left hip back and forwards, back and forwards. This is definitely my tighter side. Whew. Keep breathing. And then coming back up into that lunge, onto the fingertips, onto the fists if you need to. Opening out through that chest, heart open, chin up if you can, and breathe. Option to come up, hands interlaced onto the thigh. And again, find some wiggles, find some movement. Never has to be static. It's what feels good for you. Keep on breathing. And then when you're ready, bringing the hands down, straightening that front leg one more time. You might be able to get into it a tiny bit deeper. And again, you can keep the foot flat, or you can raise the toes up, bringing them towards your face. And again, you can round down until your nose towards your chest. See how that feels throughout your body. And breathe. And then gently bringing yourself back into that low lunge. Opening the chest. Planting the hands. Bringing yourself back into that downward dog. Pedal it out here. Take a moment to breathe. And I'm going to take that right foot and we're going to bring it in between the hands. I'm going to take the left foot out at an angle. So the right foot is out straight and left foot slightly out. I'm going to take you into a pyramid pose. Now what you want to do is have your hips facing straight forward. And you want to keep your back nice and flat here. So bringing your torso down. And only go as far again as you can keep your back nice and flat. And for me, that's not far. So I like to place my hands on my legs, a little bit of support. And again, we're going into that wiggling. So we're wiggling the hips. We're bringing the right hip back, the left hip forward. And you might feel this in your back leg as well. I certainly do. And bringing it forward a little bit. Finding more wiggles. And then perhaps playing with a little bit of stillness, just to see how that feels. Keep coming back to your breath. Filling the belly, emptying the lungs. And then raising your torso up. And then we're going to take it into a triangle pose. So you might need to shorten your stance here or widen it, whatever feels good for you. So just play around. We're going to bring our arms out. So keeping both legs nice and straight, arms out. And we're going to bump that right hip back. So that's a little bump. And then we're going to gently bring that right hand down. So whatever feels good for you. It can be up high, it can be up low, it can be all the way to the mat if you can get there. But again, nice, long, straight back. So for me, that's about here. And then we're going to bring our gaze up towards the ceiling if you can. If that doesn't hurt your neck, if it hurts your neck, you can look down or you can look straight ahead. Whatever feels good. Breathe here. Excellent. Ooh, feeling that. Bring it up. And then we're just going to take a quick warrior two. So bending that front knee, keeping that back leg nice and straight, keeping the foot out at an angle, bringing your chest up, bringing your arms up. Engage your core here. So tuck the pelvis if you need to. Nice, strong core. Breathe. Nice big inhale. Exhale. Bring those hands down, back into downward dog. And we'll take it on the other side. So bring that left foot forward, in between the hands. We're going to come into that pyramid pose. So planting that right foot down at an angle, left foot is facing straight forward. And we're coming up. Both legs beautifully straight. Hips aimed forward, as though you've got car headlights, straight forward. And then we're going to start to tilt forward. Now you can walk your hands down your leg, wherever feels good you can plant your hands. If you can get all the way to the floor, more power to you. Probably about here. And we're just going to breathe. And feel free to find some wiggles. Again, bumping the hips forward and back, forward and back. So left hip forward and back. See how that feels. See where the stretch feels good for you. Keep breathing. Let's focus on those nice straight legs, straight back. You might shake a little. Let's see if we can find a bit of stillness here. That's when the real shaking comes in. Keep breathing. Excellent. And then we're going to bring our torsos up and we're going to find pyramid pose on this side. Just keeping the legs nice and straight. Bring the torso up and you're going to bump that left hip back. So bump it back. Nice movement. Bring the arms up, torso up, and then we're going to tilt, 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 tilt the left hand down, right arm up. So gaze can be up towards the ceiling or straight ahead or down at the floor. Keep those legs beautifully straight. Keep that spine beautifully straight. And breathe here. Keep breathing, wiggle your fingers if you like. Find a tiny bit of movement that makes you happy. Keep breathing. Ooh, and bring it on up and take it into a warrior two. So bending that front leg. Arms up, torso up, engage the core. And breathe. Ooh, big in there. And spin those arms around. Bring yourselves back into a downward facing dog. Pedal it out here. And we're just going to take a little lizard just to really open those hips out. So right foot comes up. Three-legged dog. Right foot comes to the outside of your right hand. Bring that left knee down. I like to take the foot flat, so top of the foot onto the mat. Hands nice and planted. And you can come on to the outer edge of the right foot. And you can even use your right hand to push that knee very gently. Give it a bit of love. Push that knee gently, open those hips out. And breathe. And again, find some wiggles. Find some movement. Keep breathing. And then we're going to bring our hands back onto the mat. And just wiggle here. And then we're going to bring that right foot and we're going to shuffle it. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle all the way. So the foot is on the other side of the mat, so to the left of the mat. I'm coming into a pigeon pose, so you might want to bring that left knee back a little bit. Now your front foot does not need to come parallel to the mat at all. To the top of the mat, that's what they always say in yoga. It doesn't. Everybody's body is different. And what serves someone else might not serve you. So just be where you are today. Come up nice and tall here. And again, more wiggles. Gotta love the wiggles. Breathe here. Nice, tall body. And then we're going to bring it down. So bringing your torso down. Bringing your hands as a little pillow. So one hand on top of the other. Bringing your head down. Gentle rocking. Opening that hip out. Inhaling and exhaling. And gently placing your hands back onto the mat. Bring yourself very gently and slowly back into downward facing dog. Wiggle it out here, pedal it out. And then when you're ready, left foot comes high. Left foot comes to the outside of the left hand. So you're into a lizard lunge. Bring that right knee down. And again, you can come on to the outer edge of that left foot and push that knee ever so gently with your left hand. Breathing here. Just close your eyes and just connect to the feeling of your hips opening. That left hip. Just opening gently. Such a wonderful thing to open your hips and release emotions. It's where we store them, if you believe that kind of thing. Keep breathing, gentle movements. And then we're going to bring our hands back onto the mat. Bring that left knee up towards your shoulder, your left shoulder. Take a moment here. And then we're going to wiggle that left foot over to the other side of the mat. Bringing the knee down, pigeon pose. You might need to scoot that right knee back. Chest is nice and open. Torso up and tall. Breathe here. Wiggle it out. And then when you're ready, gently bring yourself down, making your little hand pillow again. Bring your forehead onto your hand pillow. Taking some rocking. Focus on your breath. Send some breath to your hips. And then gently bringing your hands back onto the mat. Tucking your back toes and bring yourself into a downward dog for the last time. Pedal it out. And then we're going to bring ourselves down onto our knees. And we're going to come in to a butterfly pose. So bring your bum down onto your mat. Feet together. Knees as wide as feels comfortable. So your knees might be all the way down. They might be up here. So just send the breath to your hips. No matter where you are, send the breath to your hips. Nice big inhale. Breath to the hips. Exhale. See if you can find some space. Inhale, breath to the hips. Exhale, a little more space. Inhale. Exhale. I'm going to really wind it down now. So gently take your hands to your knees, bring your knees together. I'm going to take it down onto the mat. Losing my voice. Bring yourself down gently, 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 gently. And I'm going to bring our knees into our chest. Clasp your hands if you can, or hold on to your knees and just take a gentle rocking. And I like to separate my knees out. So it's almost like a happy baby, but without bringing the feet up. So you only keep your feet down. And you're kind of applying a bit of pressure to open those hips out. So a tiny bit of pressure onto the knees, open the hips out, and take a bit of rocking. And breathe. Bring your knees in together, nice big squeeze. And then legs out nice and long. Hands out to your side. Feel Savasana. Stay here as long as you need, just breathing, letting go, absorbing your practice. And this is where I'll leave you. Don't forget to subscribe. Sending you love. Namaste.